think.
Okay, is it working?
I think it's in the process.
Okay.
Oh, we're active.
Okay, where's the...
Hold on.
Oh, look. I might
Oh,
just
there
cough.
we are.
Okay, it's come back. Perfect. Um, I think that the energies are so strong. I was just saying to Henry that it affected the tech and the video stopped, but it's come back on, so we'll carry on. So, shall I carry on what I was saying? So I was speaking about fully letting people go to close chapters, because it's like really claiming back our energy. What does that say? Key frame rate too low.
Where?
It says that down there. Do we have to do something?
It always says that.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll just carry on then. You just get rid of that. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Alright.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway.
Okay, so what was it? Yeah, giving ourselves full permission to let go of what is not serving us, so we can claim back our energy and our potency. I had a treatment yesterday, and I just had this really clear experience of being connected with my soul, and that most humans are connected with a millionth of actually our full greatness and our potential. And so I find that this piece around boundaries, and we've got that as another one to speak about, the more energetically boundaried we can be, and it's like energetic hygiene, the more power we're bringing back to ourselves to then channel into what we actually want to do in our lives. So it's a potent time, beloved friends, to really channel these solstice energies.
That is incredible, dear Mum. Thank you for sharing. There's so much expansion available to everyone. Wow.
Exactly, Henry. Wow. So much expansion available, and I think that's the beauty of the shadow work. The more we can alchemize shadow, the more power comes back to us, and then the more conscious and intentional we can be with where we put our energy, what we do, what we bring, and it's exciting.
It's potent.
It's potent times. So shall I ask you a question now?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So Henry's question is about the Tanju. See, he's got...
yes.
Do you want to speak about how long it is before you go, how you're feeling, and your intentions?
It's about 20 days, 23, 5, something around that, until I actually depart. So it's very exciting. I think I have felt a bit like, I don't know, it's a completely different way of living there. And when you come back into the day-to-day society, the norm of like just working and whatever it is, your emotions and things like that, they just sort of get pushed to the side a lot, which is like just really common for everyone. So, and when you're there, it's like your emotions, that is the sole focus of everything you're doing every day.
Wow.
So it's like, it's such a massive difference when you've been there and you come back and you're just like, you're just in this sort of shock response that's just like, every day is like, you're not used to having to like manage, you've got so many emotions coming up because that's what you've been used to, and you just can't really express them, and it's not like normal to express those emotions. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it feels really, I don't know, just discombobulating.
A bit.
I think, to come back, but I'm really excited to go there and just get back in touch with the emotions and just feeling a bit. Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that, Henry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. And when you share, I'm just imagining like the dissonance between being in part of this deeply heartfelt community, speaking about feelings and processing the past and really like getting to know each other on a deep level, then coming back into society with all the expectations, and it just feels really jarring.
Exactly, yeah.
Feels jarring. And do you want to speak a bit about your integration? You know, how was it for you coming back from the last experience, and how have you integrated it, and how are you feeling now?
So I think it took me quite a while to integrate the last one. I think as it was my first one as well, it was just like even more of a shock. I didn't even know what to expect coming back. So it literally almost took me about 2 months to get back into the day-to-day like norm of society and how everyone lives. I was just so not used to it. But for my integration, I think I just really started to get into the gym, and the sauna really helped.
I remember.
So I would just go pretty much every day, and that really helped with just keeping me on track. And like it was a place I could go and just sort of feel some emotions and like connect with myself. Spend some time alone.
Can I just say, Himi, maybe some people who are watching now aren't aware or don't know about what the Tanju is at Humaniversity, so I just thought maybe it would be helpful for you to share what it is.
Of course, that might be helpful.
Yeah.
So the Tanju is a month program for under 20s and over 14s, where you go and you meet loads of people your age, just around like 15, 20 people, and you all just go, you do meditations every day, you eat vegetables. Just like, it was the one unfortunate aspect, but you really get extremely close with everyone there because you're doing these deep meditations every day, and you're living like close with everyone there. You're like all sleeping together, like everything, showering together. Like you're really close with these people by the end of the month. You've done like a lot of like deep meditations, like a lot of deep stuff. And you go into a lot of your own emotions with these people around you, so you just get really close with them naturally, because you've all just experienced like, I was like a lot closer with some of my friends there than my friends that I've known for years, and I've just known them for like, it was like 2 weeks in, and I was like, this is gonna be a friend for life,
Wow.
Definitely.
And have those
Oh yeah,
friendships?
I'm still speaking to like 4 or 5 of them every day, pretty much.
Isn't that amazing, Henry?
So it's like,
isn't that amazing?
yeah, it's
So how has life changed for you since you did the first one?
So I think a lot of things changed. My outlook on life was probably the biggest thing that changed. Realizing what can be possible, and realizing that how many that there are people out there that can change your life, and there's courses out there that can completely change your life, and like just. I had more of this feeling that I'm in control of my life and not just like I'm just stepping into the system and I'm just going to be going through this system like everyone else. That's the feeling I had before, like I had no control over my life.
Wow.
And as soon as I did it, I was like fully like in control and like actually deciding what I'm going to do next with my life.
It's amazing.
Not just being taken by what's next in the system. Oh, I'm going to... that completely changed for me.
That's amazing. And what about the communication and authentic relating?
Yeah, this is also a massively big one. Just really understanding, like, I think compassion is a massively big part of how I think now. Like, if anyone does something to annoy me before, I just instantly go to anger or like frustration or whatever it is straight away. But when you go to the Tanju or you do a course like this, you understand, oh, why is this certain person constantly annoying me? It doesn't annoy other people sometimes, or like this one attribute that people do really annoys me. It's always annoyed me, and it's about understanding why it annoys you in the first place. So
Amazing.
you can like, because it is from you that it annoys. it's hard to understand. I reckon you could put it into words
Well, you
better.
are putting it into beautiful
But
words.
it's
Could you
like,
give an example, darling,
can you give an example?
of something in me, you mean, or something in you? I was wondering when you said, if there's someone that has an attribute that constantly touches something
Yeah,
in me, like what is it about me that's so it's like we're taking responsibility to look inside.
yeah,
It's like not so judging someone else, and actually it's something in us perhaps that we judge.
yeah.
And does anything come to mind?
Um,
What's something that you can feel frustrated about? It might be with me, and that's okay as well. And if nothing comes, that's okay as well.
I think there was something when I was at Tangier. I realised this as well. I learnt this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was this one person there, and this person was like constantly lying about what that person did, and just like it would be constant,
Okay.
and other people wouldn't realise that this person was lying about these
Okay.
things, and it would just really, really annoy me, like extremely. First of all, that he was just they were lying,
Yeah.
and also that no one was realising. Most people just didn't realise, and they were going with it, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! You actually did that." Like,
And what did it bring up in you? What did it touch?
I think it annoyed me. It really just pissed me off, pretty much. Like constantly,
Uh-huh.
just like really, really pissed me off. And I realised that actually, this is a pattern I've done, is lie
Wow.
and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and over exaggerate about things.
Yes, I've done it
And
as
then when I
well.
realised that
Yeah.
that's actually why I'm getting annoyed, is because I used to do that pattern.
Same.
And you can like actually understand why
Yeah.
like that sort of person's really like annoying you,
Wow,
and not
Henry.
other people. 'Cause there's always a reason. It's like a mirror.
Yeah, it's a mirror. It's amazing.
It's
And it's and because can I say about why I used to do it? Because we've never spoken about this bit
course.
before. I used to, when I was younger, like in my teenage years, I would lie all the time to fit in, to keep my belonging, and to feel part of the group, and or exaggerate. And yes, I really get what you're saying about that. And it didn't ever feel good, and it felt like I couldn't actually just be me, and be loved and accepted and part of the group just for being me. I had to pretend to be something that I wasn't.
yeah. So it's like I think what it is because I knew I lied a lot in the past and over exaggerated a lot in the past. I like had anger and like frustration towards him
Right.
for something that was actually in me that I hadn't got right at all. So I was actually like just as bad as he was in the same attribute.
And did you come back to compassion?
Yeah, that's the whole point. So like you come back, you understand why someone does something or why you're getting annoyed about something, and you always come back to why is that happening, and you witness it. This is what Varesh there, when he was living there, taught everyone, is just to come back to like witnessing what's coming up for you and other people, and just coming back to compassion every time.
It's beautiful, Henry. And how has that transformed your relationships since doing that Tanju program?
Yeah, I mean, a few friends I had to stop like seeing because they just weren't on. They didn't. It was a bit of a clash when I came back. It was really strange coming back and seeing a few of my friends before. It was just like, how was I friends with you in the past? It just feels weird. So I had to like stop seeing quite a few of my friends because it just wasn't right at all after that. So I changed a lot.
Yeah.
But the friends that I did keep just grew a lot closer with them because I sort of taught them a bit how to sort of get closer and get deeper and more trusting the connection.
Beautiful, Henry.
Yeah.
You've got so much wisdom. And so those friends, do you feel like you've deepened even in your in your friendship since.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful.
Definitely.
And can you be more? Do you feel like you can be more vulnerable? Like, is it safer for you to be?
Yeah, I mean, with friends I can't be vulnerable. I just wouldn't call them friends.
Right,
'Cause
right. That's it. That's a
they're just not.
requisite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say, dear son, is that for me, this is so part of the journey. Like, like what I'm just feeling is I don't feel like I'm the same person even that I was 10 years ago. So naturally, if we're changing and evolving into different higher versions of ourselves, of course then people are going to fall away because they would resonate with perhaps more wounded parts of versions of ourselves than the more healed, empowered versions
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
ourselves. So sadly, in my experience, part of this journey is grieving relationships, letting
Yeah.
people go. And like I was saying before about the really getting like sober with the reality of there's some connections that are just misaligned, and that's the reality, and not to be in some fantasy and hope and longing that things are going to be different. Maybe they will one day, but it's very powerful to just be fully accepting of the reality, I
Yeah.
find.
I think that's right.
And do you have intentions for your Tanju this time in less than 20 days?
Wow.
I'm so excited for him. Yay!
I think my intention is just to like really just use it because I know how
Yeah.
much I really went into it last time, but just even more this time. Just
What does that mean for you even
I
more?
think just especially in the meditations, just
Okay.
like fully let go of like any part of your brain that's saying, "Oh, don't go into it. I'm
Right.
too tired," or
Okay.
like I can't be bothered right now,
Okay.
or I don't want to. It's obviously quite scary, just like going in like deeply into these emotions you've just been pushing down for
Yeah.
years, or in my case I was. So it was like it was hard to, but
Yeah.
I quickly like just knew that I will definitely get the most out of this if I go into everything as much as possible.
Okay.
And I could see that some people weren't, and it was quite clear that by the end of it, the few people that like the people that actually fully went into it, there was a massive difference, like
Wow.
really really big difference between
Wow.
who they were at the start and the end,
Wow.
and like the people that weren't so much going into it for obviously their own reasons, which is like understandable. It's massively deep, and like, yeah.
Can I say something about that, darling? Because I'm a big advocate for nervous system health and healing from trauma, and I feel passionately about really going at a titrated, which means
Yeah,
gentle
of course,
pace.
you got to go at your own pace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go at your own pace.
exactly.
Because sometimes we can re-traumatize ourselves if we do too much too fast too soon. So it's really and I feel passionately about this as well, especially in group spaces, because with group dynamics we can feel like perhaps pressure to do things, to say yes to things we're actually a no to. So I feel very passionately about supporting people to be their own guru and to really trust their own nervous
Yeah,
systems and their own pace in this journey, because it can take us back if we overstep our own boundaries.
exactly.
And what do you think about that?
I think that's completely true. But I also think it's about finding the balance because
Yeah.
no one wants to do a massive 3 hour meditation at 6 in the morning, but like you just got to know where the balance is because yeah, I think that's true because like yeah, and also going at your own pace.
And also you've planned some time for integration after your Tanju this time.
I have because I've got a holiday straight after with my dad for like 2.5 weeks in Greece, so that's gonna be obviously great, but after Tanju I'm always very not quite settled.
You're landing.
Landing.
You're landing, yeah. Well done, Henry, for taking care of yourself. Like, I think this time, my sense is because you've got an understanding of what to expect.
Yeah.
You can plan ahead,
Yeah.
and you've
So I've
got
got
these
a few
friendships
days.
as well.
So I'm gonna spend a few days with my friend that lives near Tanju
Hmm.
after, and
Beautiful.
he's also doing it.
Yay, Henry! I'm so excited. So excited. Yay. So, shall we talk about the next one? So
Which one is it?
we've got here relating. I mean, we've spoken a bit about it around the Tanju, but relating through the heart, conscious communication. So, do you want to either speak about that or ask a question?
Um, what do you think about relating through the heart and conscious communication?
Well, I guess. I mean, I'll speak a bit about my own journey as well. I think because I was so like, lost and fragmented, and it was like I had to begin to find myself again. And it's taken, so my journey's been going for 10 years now. In fact, it's 10 years on the 29th of June, which is in 8 days' time, which I'm so grateful for because I was just like asleep and yeah, just asleep and not conscious before of what was happening. Um, so what I've learnt is to actually speak. Like I've learnt to find myself again through using my voice to communicate my actual true lived experience. So it's like when I had this experience of my whole world being shattered and this fragmentation and all these lost parts, it was like piecing myself back together. And the only way of doing that was finding my voice and speaking truth from my heart about my lived experience, like authentically relating. And I feel that this is needed. You know, it's not having masks, it's not having pretense or like ways we think we should be because we're fearing losing our belonging or we have to fit in or accommodate or people please or all of these things. It's actually finding our truth and living in that path and communicating our truth even if it's uncomfortable. And this is what we were speaking about earlier. This is how people, some people then won't relate to us, won't relate or resonate with us when we're communicating in this way because they prefer the older version that is, not
Yeah.
speaking truthfully or more authentically. So it really is a journey. But for example, Henry and I often do heart shares, because especially if he's been somewhere and I've been somewhere else, when we come back together, it's like our energy fields are coming together. So we do heart shares, which is like timed shares, for example, could be 5 minutes each, and we share what's on our heart, like how we're feeling. So, and it helps, I find, helps me to connect with my heart, to actually be present with myself, with what's moving, and to be witnessed and heard by you. And then we may share reflections, like what we've heard each other say. And I find this way of relating really supports us to anchor in to our actual experience. So we're not just lost in life and everyone else's, other people's processes or needs or anything like that. So relating in this way, like being really sovereign and anchored into our truth and meeting each other from that way, I find it feels healthy. And also, it might be that we're in different energies. It might be that Henry needs to have space and he doesn't want to connect, and he just says, I need to rest now. Please don't disturb me, So it might be that a boundary comes in with that. Um, and for me, it's so important to honour, to have this care and respect in our relating authentically with the needs. So what are the needs? What are the desires? And it may be that I say, I'd love to go swimming right now, Henry. Can we go swimming? And Henry says, no, Mum, I'm not in the space to go swimming. Thank you for the suggestion. Maybe tomorrow we can check in around going swimming. So we're not overriding our own needs, our own boundaries, not overstepping ourselves. So I'm supporting Henry to take care of himself and he supports me to take care of myself, but without going into codependence. We're interdependent, and it feels healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is so. That is so healing what you've said. And if you can actually put that into practice, even just testing it out, it might feel really weird at first, which it will. Because I know it did for me, just like having timed shares and stuff, felt what is going on, I just want to speak. Sometimes I still feel like actually I'd rather just ask you how you're doing and you say quickly in a few words, and that doesn't seem to work out sometimes. But that's alright. I think I was going to say something along the communication piece, but I forgot.
Well, that's okay. We forget. Maybe we take a breath. Just have a wiggle and a shake. And do you feel, dear son, this piece of authentic relating, did that really start for you through the Tanju, or do you feel that started before? And how is it for you now, relating authentically? And what are the challenges?
Okay, so I think this is what I remember I was going to say.
Okay.
With authentic communication, the main part it is for me, the core of it is, I would say, just not having like passive aggressive talk, because it's so common, especially in England. Like it's extremely, it's like it's so normal to like make underhand comments. You're saying something, but everyone knows you're meaning something else, and like
Not
that
clear.
is like it's so underhand, and that's so common in England, and that's something I really hate. And I've just like I've really, especially as I've started doing conscious, it's just conscious communication is just you're speaking truth. You're speaking like how you're actually feeling, instead of just going into someone's annoyed you and you're going in and you're shouting at them saying, you've done this, you've done that. Instead you walk in and say, actually you've made me feel this way after like you've done that, and I've felt that's made me feel sad or whatever, and they will, I promise you, respond 99% of the time. They'll respond they'll match your energy. They're not going to start shouting at you if you would go at them with, oh, when you did this earlier, I felt really upset. Like, why?
Beautiful.
Like, so it's, for me, massively important how you communicate in relationships, because I mean, it's really important. If I've done something wrong and someone comes at me and they start shouting at me, and or like in an angry way say, why did you do that? Then straight away I'm not going to be like defensive. Yeah, I'm going to be defensive. I'm not going to like suddenly go like, you're going to meet the energy with more anger, aren't you? And it just gets worse and worse.
Exactly.
So it's really being like conscious of how you're speaking, because it has so much power with how you say something, and you get so much respect if you actually word things in a respectful way, because you get respect back. That's like, if you want respect, you need to respect other people.
That's it. Beautiful.
And then you get respected for treating other people like that, because it actually shows them how to communicate in a healthy way.
We have to learn this, don't we?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But like, if you can be the person to teach people, like
amazing.
So.
I'm proud of you, Henry. It's beautiful. And what I was thinking, if anyone's watching live and you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we could answer them about any of these topics. And I was thinking, dear son, about anger, because what happens when anger comes up? So how do we manage anger in a healthy way?
Yeah, so I think this one's really different for a lot of people. I think some people obviously experience different levels of anger. For me, I'm like able to control my anger. It doesn't come very often, but when it does come, it's like it sort of hits me, and I'm like, I know how to sort of control it. I don't ever act on anger, because I know that's the worst possible emotion you can act from. Definitely, in my opinion. So I think just to always come back to like witnessing your anger and knowing like from the past what's helped you and knowing what can actually help you move through the anger in the best way, and that's different for everyone.
And what do you do?
I think I'd normally remove myself from whatever situation has made me angry straight away. I know
Amazing.
to not stay there, because as soon as I stay there and someone's made me really angry,
Yeah.
and I stay there like with that person, it often will just end in argument. So it's good to remove yourself.
Right.
You might need to tell the person, I need to just have a break.
Yeah.
Or I need to
Great.
like I need to take care of myself, I need to remove myself, whatever it is. And you just take some time to come back to your emotion, like come back and understand, like get it straight what's actually happened, so you're clear, and you're in integrity. You know what you've done in the situation, you know what the other person's done. You're not just, for example, someone's made you angry and you go back and you say, you did this, you did that. Instead of like doing that, you understand, or I understand what actually you've done to take responsibility for. Because if you go to someone, you take responsibility for something, and then you actually say, and I feel when you did this, I felt that. And then they'll be completely, well, if they're not, then that's obviously
Information.
But,
And what about somatically from your body? Like how do you process anger? How do you get it out your body? Do you give yourself? Do you allow yourself?
I go to the gym.
Great.
So that is definitely my best way of getting out my anger, and I've always got a bit of frustration from work. So it's good to go to the gym after that for me, because I can just really push out any frustration.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's what works for me. I also think it's not just about like physically getting anger out, but also like mentally letting it out as well.
Okay. Can you speak more to that?
I think just if you give yourself some time to feel into why you have the anger and actually connect to why it is there, not just I'm angry, I want to let it out. That's also really healthy.
Yeah.
But understanding where is this anger coming from, so you can actually connect with it more. If you understand where it's coming from, you can actually really get to the root of it and get even more angry and let even more anger out physically.
Wow.
So
beautiful. Can I speak a bit about my process with anger?
Of course.
Well, it's really interesting we're talking about anger, because anger it's recently I'm able to connect with my anger, because for a lot of time on my healing journey I've not been able to access my anger in a healthy way. And I've noticed, for example, if something happens where, for example, if there's a power dynamic and I'm feeling someone abuse a position of power, or there's an integrity breach or something like that, or there's projections at me. In the past, I've gone to patterns of accommodating, hiding, people pleasing, fawning, or freeze. Freeze has been a big one for me, and I'm learning now with my voice to communicate. Often it's been in retrospect, so I've had to go back and in retrospect address things that happened that weren't okay and communicate my truth. And what I'm learning to do now in the moment is to speak up and say, for example, the way you're speaking to me right now is not appropriate. I'm not available to be spoken to in that way, and remove myself, like Henry says. And also, I find it really cathartic to actually connect with my anger. I had a healing treatment, a massage treatment yesterday, and this rage, like visceral rage, was coming up. And I was like, from these experiences I've had in the past where I couldn't connect with my anger, and I was just imagining I was speaking to the person I had anger, but I couldn't access it in the past, and letting it out. And it was so helpful and healthy and potent. And
wow.
I feel this channel of communication is so important, so we can access it in a healthy way in the moment if we need to. So we can, it's like we're talking about boundaries, Henry. You know, it's like I really feel passionately about this piece of where's my energy, what's my responsibility, and where does that end? You know, where do I need to give someone else back their responsibility for their actions or behaviour? And where do I not take responsibility for their pieces? And that's what I'm available for, and that's what I'm not available for. And I really feel passionately about this sovereignty piece and the integrity of holding ourselves with integrity, but also giving back other people responsibility for their actions and behaviour, because it impacts.
Exactly.
Do you want to speak any more to the boundaries piece? Like, what boundaries do you find helpful? Is there any?
I think
How do you
I feel to
communicate?
speak to a bit of maybe any parents and like kids. So I know it was tricky for me when I was a kid. And yeah, relating can be massively difficult when there's like a parent and a child. It can be like really a lot of clashing involved. I think there's quite a lot of pieces to say about this, but I'll try and keep it short. Do you have some things to say
No,
as
darling,
well
go
about
for it.
this?
I think this is so important.
Yeah, I think first of all to really respect your child's like space is massively like important because after school and like I hated school so much, and obviously you have to be there. So when you come home and you have your room, it's really, really important that's like a respected space that is your like your child's space and not like somewhere that anyone can just come in anytime and like it's just really important. And if your kid needs space, just to really respect that, because I know when I was younger, and I needed space and I didn't get my space, I would just like it was so horrible to like have to like to not actually feel like I could have my own time when I wanted it. I just feel like you don't have control of your own life at
Wow.
all. So I think that's really important. First of all, but just to be respectful, because obviously it's really easy as a parent to go into like obviously you have massive power dynamic
Yeah, good
thing
point.
going on, so to be really mindful of what is abusing power as a
Yeah.
parent, and to use a lot of as much conscious communication as possible and try and get some sort of, it doesn't have to be called heart shares because that's anyway, it can be called whatever you want, just honest communication in any form is really important, so you actually know you're like you know what how your child's feeling. It's really important. You can obviously do that however you want, but I think that's really important. And if you just start building on this conscious and like truthful speaking, then your kid's gonna have that skill for life, and that will help so much. And like, yeah, massively help. And I think also your kid would be respected a lot for if they got taught how to speak respectfully and truthfully, they'd be respected a lot by everyone they meet. So like, it's just domino effect, really helpful. I think there was more pieces, but I
God, it's a
can't seem
lot,
to
Henry.
remember.
Wow, it's a lot that you're saying. It's really helpful to have this perspective. And I think we spoke a bit about this in a different video as well, about how when we're a parent and we don't understand that that brings an inherent power dynamic, we can have this entitlement that we just can take advantage or breach our child's space. And it was only me doing this journey and learning about all of this that, and then being able to be more respectful of you and your space and your needs. So yeah, it really is worth it. It really is worth it, because
Of
otherwise
course.
it's like we're putting on to our children. It's like totally putting on to our children our needs, so then they become responsible for us and are not honouring their own needs.
Mm.
So it's really, really important.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also this whole thing about, like, if there's been a like traumatic childhood for a parent, someone that's now a parent, then they just continue that pattern with their own kids, and that's so common. Obviously, if you've been treated terribly as a kid, you will naturally, if you haven't actually, how to say that, like, done work and understood what's actually going on, and sort of started to be aware of patterns that you're doing without just playing them out and unconsciously continuing the patterns. If you actually consciously step back and work on healing those aspects, and like understanding why you do a certain thing, that's like, if you look back, you're like, why did I do that? It was completely unfair. But in the moment, it felt so natural and easy, and like that's just shadow, like unconsciously coming out, because that's something that's happened to you in the past. And to understand that that is something that's happened to you in the past, heal from whatever damage that's caused you, and like just try and break that shadow and shine light on it, is so important. Definitely the most important part, because that's then you can break patterns of what the parents break, the whole, what's it called, the vicarious, the patterns,
The
like,
ancestral.
yeah, the generational patterns that's literally been happening for generations, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So breaking that pattern is so strong, and that's what you've done. Is it was like, generation, that's the one, exactly, generational trauma, and breaking that, because you went from causing a lot of damage to me and my sister and my dad and everything, to like completely being aware of it and breaking the cycle, exactly. So it's like so strong, and I'm going to be teaching my kids everything you've taught me, to be aware of yourself and be aware of, like, just the patterns you've been playing out, and understanding why, and actually just coming back to compassion is so important. Because if you then just you've realised, oh my god, I've been doing this to my kids, and you have this whole realisation, and you can completely, you can mess yourself up if you just start criticising yourself about it. You have to come back to compassion to then move forward and actually come back to love, and just, it's very important, I think.
Wow.
To break the patterns.
Wow. Henry, it's incredibly powerful. Your words are moving, really moving as well. And I feel it through your words, that it's like your evidence that these patterns have been broken or are being broken, because we're always continuing to work. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Thank you, dear Patricia. I'm just reading what you've put. Dear Patricia put, can I go up here?
Yeah, you scroll.
Oh, here we are. Been following your journey for many years. Been beautiful to watch you blossom and bloom as you have. So grateful you're both able to hold open conversations and create a safe space shared with others, especially on this full moon. Deep breaths. You're both doing incredible. Love you. Thank you so much, dear Patricia. Breaking the
Thank you.
cycle. Thank you. When we heal those around us. What a beautiful embodiment of love. So humbled by you both. Thank you. Yeah, it's really humbling. I feel it as well. Yeah, maybe just let's take some breaths together. Oh, yeah, it is really humbling. Could you pass me? Oh, I haven't got the tissues in this room. They're in my room. That's okay. It feels to me, dear son, very yeah. It's humbling to hear you speak because I know the childhood that you had. I know how I was as a mother. I know the trauma I perpetrated. I continued because of what I had experienced myself. And it takes so much courage to break the cycle and to move through so much shame and also so much loss. Like I've lost a lot, and I'm not saying it in like from a victim place, but I've had to walk away from my biological family in this process of healing, and to really find worth in myself and like learn to love myself for actually who I am. And as I shared at the beginning of this journey, I had no clue who I was when I was so shattered. So it's like getting the pieces back together little by little and finding who I am, loving myself, and then learning how to be a mother, literally. It's like actually learning how to be a healthy mother and bring up my children. And I know at the moment it's only my dear son that is in relationship with me. So just, yeah, going gently. Maybe I hand over to you because that just touches my heart quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of important stuff.
A lot of important stuff. Gosh, Henry, I hadn't got a clue that we would talk about all of this, and I think it's good, Henry, because, like dear Patricia, and thank you for your words, dear Patricia, because we need to lead. You know, we need leaders that are willing to be seen, that are breaking this cycle, and also, like the next generation, like Henry, showing also how he can be a leader in the new earth that's coming in, and show how it is possible to live in a different paradigm and create healthy the next generation that will be even healthier. You know, there'll be less trauma to carry on from your
Exactly.
children than you've had to carry and that I've had to carry. So yeah, gosh, what a powerful what a powerful live I wasn't expecting, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you feel to share, dear son, before we complete?
Yeah, I think just coming back to compassion as well. Mm-hmm. It's really important. Always yourself and everyone around you, because everyone is doing their best with everything they have been taught up until that point in their lives. They are doing their best, and yeah.
That's beautiful. I just had a thought, darling. Could we do an appreciation of ourselves and one of each other?
Yeah.
Because this
Can
is
I go first?
Yeah, this is something else that we do. That's like, especially when there's delicate pieces that come up, it can be healing to. It's like love. It's love in action. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I appreciate myself for doing this live because I didn't really want to do it, truthfully. But I think if it helps one person, then that's completely worth it. So I'm grateful that I did it, and hopefully I did help one person, because that's enough. Yeah.
It's beautiful, Henry. I'm proud of you. So I share an appreciation for myself.
Yes.
I'm just going to read what dear Patricia has written exactly. And you've always shared your journey, dark sides, how you broke through, return to nature, self-love, Bless your beautiful heart, Henry. He's a wise one. He's so wise, so wise. Sending love. Yeah, I feel like I've been gifted this like ancient wise being as my son. It's quite like discombobulating sometimes, but just filled with humility on the journey. My appreciation for myself is my courage to share about my journey and to be a leader of love and integrity and truth in the world, and stand by that and trust the journey, whatever happens. That's my appreciation of myself. Thank you. And what about so you do one for me now? Is that
That's right.
Yeah.
I think I really appreciate your like dedication to your platform, I think, and just wanting to get as much out to people, like constantly just pushing this, like everything you learn in your group, on your Facebook, just sharing healing things all the time, and wanting to do these Facebook lives, wanting to like literally heal people and get people on this road of inner work. I really appreciate that. I think a lot of people do as well. And thank you, that's massively inspiring. And yeah.
Thank you, Henry. Really appreciate you saying that. That's really touching. Can we hold hands? Yay! Okay, so I'm going to share my appreciation for you, dear Henry. I'm just going to feel into it. I appreciate how you're stepping into your leadership, Henry. Your divine masculine leadership in the world, and the world needs leaders like you. The world needs your voice, and you speak to areas where there's discomfort perhaps, and you do it in such a way with so much love and so much compassion and so much grace. You emulate what's possible in the world and how we can transform shame, fear and pain back into love. And I'm so grateful that you embody that here on planet Earth. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being my son.
Thank you. That's very... Thank you.
You're welcome. So thank you for tuning in today for this solstice live, and just sending so much love and blessings to you all. And if anyone has any questions, feel free on the replay if you want to ask any questions, and I can respond. And just sending so much love and blessings from our hearts and wishes for gentleness and compassion with yourself. And do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, thank you for watching. So, hope you can enjoy your day and try and have fun. I think that's a very important part of life, is to enjoy. Because if you can't enjoy it, then try and enjoy it.
Nothing.
I think we're complete.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes.
Yesterday when I had this treatment and I was letting go of all this like density and anger, what was really coming through is my inner imp, and I'd love to embody more lightness and playfulness and mischief in life, and I feel like I can do that more as I've released so much density. So here's to our inner imps and creating more magic and lightness of being and joie de vivre.
Splendid.
So much love. Mwah. Thank you, beloved. Sending so much love from our hearts.